everybody. It's been a while since we've been here, 2 weeks ago. We are on Reality in the Raw, uncut, unfiltered, and unhinged. And I'm your host, Ed Lloyd Sr., and I am excited. I think this is episode number 13. Is that correct? 16, 14, 15. That's 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, we're on episode number 14. I was just messing with my producers, one of the my team production team members. But you are on Reality in the Raw, uncut, unfiltered, and unhinged, and we are excited again to be in the studios with you. There's a term I've been using, well, two terms I've been using, but one is being intentional, and the reason I say that is because if I had to be dealing with my physical condition and how I feel, we would not have been here. But we are intentional about what we do, and we promised you that we would have been here today, which is August the 9th. And so we're excited to be in our studios here, and we hope that you are excited also. We want to really invite you to call in, ask questions, and make this very conversational because it's okay to just listen to information. But as a teacher, and I've been teaching since I was 16 years old, and I'm not 16 today by any means. But one of the things we know is that when you engage, we know that you're learning because the information or what we share is sparking something in you, and to know more and to find out more. And so I'm going to begin like I always do with our mission. Our mission here is to invite and encourage healthy discourse about relationships and other life issues in an effort to inform, to educate, and to find practical solutions to help all of us navigate through difficult circumstances, because I myself learn on the program anyway. Though the topics, and we hope the topics, often controversial and thought provoking, our intention is to create an environment of love, of understanding, of forgiveness and restoration to those who would listen and engage. This is not a this is not a platform for embarrassment or defaming the character of any individual or lambasting people you may dislike or airing out personal differences. So, in this regard, I will entertain no rudeness, no ugliness, no toxicity, no bitterness, no vitriol, no hatred, or disrespect to myself or anyone else. So let us keep this platform clean, jovial, energetic, with lots of fun and an attitude to really learn something positive because, um, you know, I'm going to be very practical, and I'm going to be more and more practical as we go along so that you will understand who your host is and how we do things. Uh, the next topic, and I want to just talk about the next topic, is I'm going to deal with warning signs that you are financially unstable. We need to know what are the warning signs that we are financially unstable so we can fix them before we run out of time. But anyway, I want to just deal with and hopefully finish the discourse to reasons why you might always be poor or broke or at the brink of financial ruin. And so, the question we've been dealing with is why or what are the primary reasons why people end up poor or in financial hardship. And we talked about your focus on your mindset. And the reason why I talk about focus and mindset, because a lot of people want to change your financial condition or situation, but they don't want to change. You first have to have the mindset and the desire to change and be intentional and deliberate about it, which means you got to be detailed and take responsibility for your failures and really look at the facts. Can't be emotionally driven and achieve anything positive and successful. You've got to be intentional. And that means you got to be awake and present and on it every day. And the people who have success in any endeavor, including fixing up the financial mess, are the people who are constantly intentional about the decisions they make. All right. So, talked about and asked, what is your focus on your mindset? Is getting out of financial ruin just a wish, a desire, or do you see it as something very necessary in your life? And so, if it becomes something that you think you need to do and you have to do, then my question is, how do you spend most of your time, energy, and your resources? Are you just an emotional spender? Are you an emotionally driven person? Or are you intentional? If you go back, and I'm the pastor of a church, Oasis Christian Center, if you go back and listen to the message that I just preached this past Sunday, which was Sunday the 7th, I believe, then I talked about intentionality. And that's I started a discourse on intentionality and how we become intentional. And I'll be doing that for a few weeks. So if you want to understand how you can be more intentional and deliberate about decisions rather than emotionally driven, you can go back and look at that and engage and ask as many questions as you want to. And so, what do you spend most of your time on, your energy and resources on? Then we ask the question, who do you listen to? Who do you associate with? And who you hang out with? The old adage, show me a company and I'll tell you who you are, has held true for the longest, uh, you know, and going back in time. Because who you listen to, who you associate with, and who you hang out with, and who you influence by, has a lot to do not only with where you are, but where you're going. And we talk about most of us are not experts at managing our own finances and end up broke month to month. But the problem is pride comes in and we don't want to admit that we are in trouble and we don't want anybody to help us because we're in the mindset, I'm going to fix it. If you have not fixed it yet, you're probably not going to fix it. You probably need some help. And so a lot of us need somebody to come help us with our finances so that we don't continue the cycle, or I call it the curse of being broke all the time. We talked about credit card debt in a household almost being about $16,000, and people have dismal savings. Americans have less than 73% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. And that's what raised the question, why are people with a lot of people with relatively good income always broke? I was at a store yesterday talking to somebody, and she was talking about, I have no money, but she got $650 worth of tattoos on her arm, unfinished tattoos. To me, stupid. Why? Because you got unfinished tattoos on your hand, but you don't have enough money for your car payment. So I'm going to talk about some common sense things, and it's going to offend some people because people are emotional and they don't like the truth. However, it's the truth that will make you free. So our question, what are some of the number one reasons or primary reasons why people end up financially poor? I'm going to rush through some of them because we already dealt with them. One, are you stuck in a debt trap? Are you in a debt trap because you've been desperate and had to use your credit cards for emergency? Because you were trying to make rash decisions because you were stressed. That usually keeps people broke. So number one was you're in a debt trap. Number two was we as a people like to ignore big debts, because big debts can make you stressed. But avoiding those problems, avoiding big debts, prevents you from managing your debts, and it makes the situation even worse. So number two is we ignore huge debts. We'd prefer just not open the mail or not know what they are. Number three, often people who are stressed feel powerless. And so instead of addressing the situation, they just do nothing. But addressing the situation will force you to become intentional, to become deliberate, and to get accurate about what your debts are. Getting accurate will require you to seek some unbiased knowledge and advice. And then that'll help you feel empowered and confident in your personal financial decisions. A lot of people get so embarrassed, they rather keep the cycle of being broke instead of opening up, be vulnerable. And usually, one of the most common reasons is that, well, the last time I was vulnerable, I was hurt. Well, the last time your baby tried to walk, they fell down. Did they stop? No. Last time the last time you took a test in school without studying, you got an F. Did you quit school? If you did, not a wise idea. And so we have to know, if you feel powerless, it's because you are not subjecting yourself humbly to get some information from somebody who knows better. But by getting accurate and knowledge and advice, you can feel empowered and confident to make some good decisions. So you got to learn about personal finance. A lot of people get a job, but you don't know about personal finance. It's like you're getting a car and you don't know about a car. You got to take it to the mechanic. So if you got a job, you have money, and you don't understand what personal finances are, then you need some mentor, somebody who knows, financial advisor, to come help you. I talked about one important point, which I think the psychology should shift from how can I spend money to make me happy now to how can I use this money to buy me financial freedom in the future. And that's something people don't understand. We make the most dumb and stupid decisions now, and they're very temporary, so that later we end up broke. And that to me is stupid. If you can be empowered now to set yourself up to become financially not just literate, but to have some financial stability in the next 2 and 3 years, then drop your attitude, drop the pride, drop the foolishness, drop the excuses, drop the nonsense, drop the crap, and make some better decisions about your life. Number 5, you don't pay yourself first. One of the number one reasons why people end up poor is because they don't pay themselves first. And we talked about that. Important is paying yourself first means putting a portion of each paycheck, because people keep asking me. So paying yourself first means putting a portion of each paycheck into a savings account before dividing or distributing the rest to cover expenses. Well, somebody says, well, my expenses are too much. You need to reduce your cost of living. You're trying to live well, let me just say, you can't afford how you live. You're trying to be a high flyer when you're a low owner and when you're a low earner. It's not going to work. You're trying to live like the Joneses, but your name is Smith. It's not going to work. Number 6, Lord have mercy. You put today's happiness before future financial needs. And that's something I want to talk about because poverty is often generational. And sometimes we poor simply because our families have been. Talk about poverty being a generational curse. And it's hard to make progress in an environment that is regressive. People who should be in good financial shape may not be, often because the decisions they make are not aligned with the financial needs. You can't be using your money on emotional spending and try to tell me you want to be financially stable. You're lying, you're stupid, you're foolish, you're crazy, or you're missing some screws. Your current financial decisions must be aligned with your future financial goals. Your current financial decisions must be aligned with your future financial goals. I talked about people buying pets, buying the latest drops, one of the latest Jordans, the latest Yeezys, and trying to look like the Joneses. But you're poor. You're not impressing anybody. You just slap stupid. And we make slap stupid decisions. Your current financial decisions must be aligned with your future financial goals. I tell people throughout my life, I never bought, the cars I bought were always cash. If you can't buy a car cash, do not buy it. That's my philosophy. Told my kids, you can't buy a car cash. Next thing you come to daddy. If you're too prideful, you're going to run yourself in the ground. There are purchases we make that are stupid. They're not aligned with our financial goals. For years, I was just driving a 1988 Volvo while my friends were buying new cars. A new car get totaled. I mean, it got run down. They were still paying the loan while I was still driving my Volvo. I was nobody less. I had AC in that thing. It was an old Volvo, boy. It was durable. My children didn't like it. But I did not care because I had some financial goals, some future financial goals, and I was not going to let the emotions and the desires and the pressure they got from their peers influence my financial decisions because I had some goals. I know you don't like it. That's probably why you broke. I said, that's probably why you are broke. Because you refuse to look at yourself, forget the emotional spending and the emotional comforts, and make some decisions so you can have a little money to eat and buy a little money after you eat and buy gas. Quit them subscriptions. You don't need no subscriptions. When the contract on that iPhone is over, go get a Boost phone. Yes. Go get a Metro phone, $50. You got a contract for $129, and you could be saving $79 a month. You know what that could do for gas? Let me calculate that thing. $80 times 12. You could be saving almost $1,000 of a phone bills. Still make the calls you want. Still write all the texts you want, but you just want to have an iPhone because it's cool. Come on, man. You want an iPhone, you want earplugs, you want Beats, you want the latest J's, the latest drops. You want to look fly, but you can't even buy soap to bathe. We have problems. Why? Because number 6, I almost can't get past it. You put today's happiness I don't know if I have a call coming in. Hey, this is Reality in the Raw. Do you have a question? No, he doesn't have a question. He just called me. Hey, bro, I'm going to call you after. That's my kidney, man. That's my brother. I'll call you after. Try to get. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thanks. Kidney. Number 7, you lack an emergency fund. Well, I just told you, most 73% of Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings. And if anytime we get to $1,000 in savings, we get so happy, we're going to spend it on some foolishness. Today you asked me, my wife does her own hair. She does her own toes. She does her own nails. If she doesn't, I do them for her. I do her toenails. I do her fingernails. She doesn't wear makeup. And these days, for you girls who like makeup, men like the natural look, bro. And so you're wasting so much money and wonder why you can't. You don't have an emergency fund. You have it. You're wearing the emergency fund. Look at your lashes. Look at the bundles. What's going on, America? What's going on, world? You don't have an emergency fund. Number 8, you're not making savings a priority because you just look at what you need now, what you want now. So you don't make savings a priority. In my own life, I saw the biggest financial stagnation when I was not paying myself, even when I had a decent paying job. Now nobody pays me. I'm a pastor, and they don't pay me. Sometimes they do a pastoral offering. Thank God for those people who do it. Boy, if I was depending on a pastoral offering, be dead. When you get paid, make sure you're saving those first few dollars for your own future. When somebody come, hey, do you have $5? I know you're broke. No, that's past broke. And you should do that. You should save automatically. Every pay period, have something go into your savings. You get ahead financially when you make savings a priority. What do I mean? You got to be intentional about it. Not save one week and the next week you take it to buy something. No, you leave it and you become intentional and deliberate. It would help me save some money. When you save your own money, help all of us. Number 9. The worst part is people do not course correct their finances. You do not course correct your finances. Do you know there's a better way of doing things? There's a cheaper way of doing things. And you can reverse some of the decisions you make. I told you, your one couple came to me broke like crazy. Don't have money to eat, but they got 2 dogs. Sell it. They got mad at me. I said, don't talk to me till you sell the dog. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to see you. Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't say hello to me till you sell them dogs. Because there's a better way to live, there's a cheaper way to do things, and there's a more sensible way to even be stupid. You know, you can be stupid without it cost you nothing. You know that? You don't have to pay to be stupid. And some of us are paying every month to be as stupid as we can be. We're on a competition to see who can be more stupid. Or can we outdo our last month's stupidness? Well, I don't like you. I don't like me either. You too late. Well, Ed, I don't like what you're saying. I don't like what I'm saying before you don't like. So you're too late. You came in late. Because I had to course correct and do some things that would help me now be financially stable. And I don't want to use all my financial stability to help the jokers that are constantly making stupid decisions. That's not what I want to be financially stable for. Course correct and behave yourself. I didn't save. I don't want to use my money for your foolishness. I understand if you need, but I don't want to use my money for your foolishness. For what? It's like I'm buying foolishness. I'm paying for foolishness. That's stupid. Why would I make decisions that can make me financially stable? I had to sell stuff. I had to reduce the number of cars I had. I had to, do a whole lot of stuff to make me financially stable. Why should I use these finances to pay for your dumbness and your foolishness and your craziness? You do what I do. There's some stuff you don't need. Don't buy it. We do not course correct our finances. There's almost always a cheaper way and a better way of doing the things we do. Like your cell phone. I got a godson. He got 2 cell phones. One, he got an iPhone. He ain't but 15 years old. He got an iPhone. I don't have an iPhone. Well, I have an iPhone for the business. He got an iPhone and he wants a Samsung. How much money he making? No. Let me tell you something. If you cannot make your own phone bill, you should not have a phone. You can't pay the phone. Somebody got to pay for you to talk to who? You got business? No. You can't pay for your own phone bill? You don't have a phone. That sounds messed up. That's because information that is true is messed up. You don't like it. But if we don't make these decisions now and course correct, we are going deeper and continuing that curse and that cycle of financial ruin. You got to get in the habit of questioning and challenging your current way of doing things. And we don't like to change. Why? Because it'll hurt our feelings. Turn that thing off, please. Use your creativity. Sorry. I'm just I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm sorry. Use your creativity and critical thinking skills to find and implement more cost-effective alternatives, whether it's renegotiating your insurance rates, switching banks, selling stuff you don't need, planning next. It's another thing. I folk who can hardly make it talking about vacation. Somebody ought to somebody ought to slap that word out your mouth. You were vacationing when you were young. That's why you ain't got nowhere. You still want another vacation. Somebody ought to slap that stuff out your mouth. Some of your mouth. Number 10. Some of us just spend too much on housing. Have you considered getting to a smaller place? Have you considered getting out of the gated community? Because the gate always have problems, no, anyway. And finding somewhere cheaper to live. Spending too much money on rent or mortgage is one of the biggest reasons why people struggle financially. I told you all, after living in Tallahassee for many years, I have met hundreds of young people who are house poor, trying to impress some man that'll never come in. Come on, I just want my pad in case of man. It's been 5 years. Come on now. Try to go get a studio apartment. These are people who make above average incomes but end up spending too much on rent. As a rule of thumb, you should try to keep housing costs under 20% of your income. Under 20% of your income, as opposed to the 28 to 30% limits that most banks allow. Number 11, don't have a money plan. Oh, geez. Do you have a plan for your money? Just like you don't have a plan for your time, you don't have a plan for your money. It's just anything that comes. You're not intentional about setting up a schedule or a budget. Or you have things on your plan that you never follow through. It is easy to hope that there's money left over at the end of the month. But many times, our behavior and emotions and feelings get in the way. To curb behavior and work against bad spending habits, you got to be intentional, and you want to think about automating bills and investing as soon as the paycheck comes in. Pay yourself. It will cushion the blow when emergencies pop up. I don't like that. A lot of times I have to be paying for people's emergencies. I don't want to do that. No, go do the same thing I do. Number 12. You have no idea where your money is going. One of the biggest things that keep people living from paycheck to paycheck, from the paycheck to paycheck cycle, is not having a budget. If you don't know where your money is currently going, you will not be able to turn it in the direction you want to, or you prefer to, or you prefer it to go with the best. You can't, because you don't know where it's going. Number 13, you don't separate your wants from your needs. Jesus help us. Jimmy the Cricket. People have a hard time differentiating wants from needs. You want ice cream, you don't need it. You want your nails done. You don't need. Some people need their nails done. I'll pay for it if you need it. Some people, you need to cut off your toe. You need your toes done. I understand that, but most people don't. You just want to look pretty for nobody. So ask yourself, if I put nail polish on, is it going to look prettier? I'm not banging. I know you girls need to. I'm just making a point. General principle. People use the word need for almost everything they purchase, causing them to actually believe that they must spend money on it. I need an iPhone. You need a slapped away from your mouth. You don't need no iPhone. The times I grew up when we were real smart, I didn't have a phone. Can you imagine if I had asked my dad for a cell phone, he would about kill me. You might need a car for transportation, but you want the luxury model. You don't need no Tesla. You can't even spell it. They ask you, how you spell Tesla? Tesla. No, you don't need it. You can't spell it. You don't need a Mercedes-Benz. You need a car. You don't need a BMW. You need a car. You can't even afford it. We just be slap stupid. This type of attitude mentally keeps us down financially. Number 14, you have no degrees or training. If you want to really become financially stable, if you don't have a degree, you better get some training, get into a craft, a vocation where you can make some money. You don't have to have a degree, but be trained. Number 15, you're investing in stuff instead of self. Instead of buying soap, you're buying perfume. Instead of buying soap, you're buying Lumi. Lumi is the stuff they say if you put it between your butt cheeks, the next 24 hours, your butt cheeks will not smell. Please don't try this at home and don't try it anywhere else. Buy some Dove, buy some soap, and economic disadvantages play a big part into why so many people are poor. But that's not the only thing holding people back. Other people find themselves in crises because they have repeatedly underinvested in areas with long-term benefits, such as professional career or education, savings, investments. And they have overinvested and overextended in other areas, such as luxury products and upscale housing. I don't want to go there. Number 16, trying to get rich quick. Every successful person I know says it takes time and hard work. I was talking to one of my she's an actress. Work hard, always on the grind. We were talking yesterday, and I was saying some people think they're just gonna make it overnight. You get mushroom success, it'll be gone in 6 hours. That's how mushrooms grow. Because you gotta have a backing, you gotta have experience, you gotta have the back, what we call the back, to be able to support a foundation, to be able to support the big house you want, the big ideas. Too many people are looking for a quick and easy way out of poverty and to trying to get rich quick. It don't happen. Whether it be a hot stock, a job or business idea, too many of us are chase the idea that we can come into extraordinary wealth overnight. Man, we've been praying. It don't work. Can you understand? We in the church praying and fasting, and the person who wins the lottery is somewhere in the backwoods of nowhere. You got to search for them to claim it. And we're still praying. Sadly, things don't work that way. You got to put in the hard work to become rich. You got to be on all the time. We see the rich now thinking they got lucky or made it rich. Let me tell you something. You got to put in the work, bro. I don't care what you want. You want a music career, you got to put in the work. You want a clothing line, you got to put in the work. You want a shoe store, you got to put in the work. You want to launch a ministry, you got to put in the work. It takes work, blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes we like to see we like to think, we look on TV and see people getting rich quick. But we don't see we don't see behind the scenes at just how much work they put in to get where they are. Then I saw what's his name, little guy, man. He was interviewing Jay-Z, Kevin Hart. And Jay-Z had a serious face talking about the struggle. It don't happen overnight. Ask LeBron, the struggle. Ask Michael Jordan, the struggle. It don't happen overnight. No matter how rich or poor you are. Oh, number 17, don't stick to a budget. We have the budget, but we don't stick to it because something else comes up. The emotions drive us. Having a budget is personal finance 101. Yet many people still don't have a budget and they don't stick to it if they have one. Many people end up in financial hardship because they think I got money, I don't need a budget. No matter how rich or poor you are, a budget is almost always a necessity because it can help you figure out where your money problems are, where your money is going, and it can help you improve, and it will help you improve your financial situation if you stick to it and it's reasonable. Number 18, always one step behind your bank account. Oh, I didn't know I had a negative balance. Oh, you mean 3 subscriptions came out? I thought I had rerouted something. Not planning ahead is one of the biggest reasons Why, I was broke as a younger me from not keeping track of due dates. Lord, the light bill, the rent. How you don't know your rent? You know your rent is due on the first. You're talking about grace period. You don't have grace. Pay it before the first. Oh, I thought it was the third. No, you know it was. Well, I thought it was the fifth. You thought it was the ninth. You know no landlord is going to give you till the ninth. Pay it on the first. Don't look for no grace period. It's because of grace people sin. They take advantage of the grace. No, get legalistic. It's due on the first. You paid on the last day of the month. I thought it was on the cent. You lying. You told them you paid by the third. Now you thought it was on the ninth. I was like that. You know, most folk I know have 2 light bills on every light bill. They always paying the light bill a month behind. And when it get cut off, they act like, oh, I'ma call the city. Who you gonna call at the city? Oh, I can't believe they cut it off. Yes, you can, because you know you're working on last month graces. Oh, I'm a call. No, after you call, you can't call within the next 3 or 6 months to make a payment arrangement. Pay your doggone bill on time. From not keeping track of due dates and getting hit with late fees, to not planning out trips and losing track of deposit and withdrawals, that led to overdraft fees. Planning was my biggest challenge. You know nothing due on the 15th of the month. You signed the dotted line talking about they didn't call you to remind you. You think the landlord should call you and remind you that your rent is due on when he got so many tenants? Pay your doggone bills on time. I know it's hard, but pay them on time. Stop eating out and making poor financial decisions. And it was never about having enough money. It's really never about having enough money. If you look at your budget, you do have enough money. The problem for me was that I was so bad at planning. And I avoided them big bills. You see the envelope. Why you have one cell phone and you still playing 2 other companies? You switch. Why? Why switch to company 3 if you're still owing on 1 and 2? You're gonna be owing on the third. The problem I was bad was that I was bad at planning. I missed important opportunities to hold on to the money I was making. Is that you? You got to fix it. Got to be intentional, be honest, take responsibility, forget being prideful, and let somebody help you. It's the little things that kill a budget. The little foxes spoil the vine. The devil is in the details. That's why we don't like to look into details. And that's why we stay broke. Number 19, you buy depreciating assets. One of the main reasons that people become poor is that they focus their time on buying depreciating assets like cars, TVs, ATVs, boats, and things that depreciate over time. Because of this, they have little resources to build wealth, and therefore they continue to live paycheck to paycheck. How can we fix this problem? Focus on buying appreciating assets like stocks, real estate, which grow over time, land, and eventually give you more resources so that you no longer live in poverty. You can't buy land. No, you don't pay yourself. You can't buy land. No, you take all your money and buy foolishness. Some people take all their money so that they can lose teeth on sweets and candy and don't brush your teeth. Buy some toothpaste and don't buy candy. Number 20, people are unwilling to make sacrifices. That was the problem I had with the folks who had the dogs. They were unwilling to make the sacrifices. We are unwilling to really evaluate where we are and make some changes to what we know we don't need, to spending on things we really need. One of the main reasons people end up in poor financial situations and hardship is bad behavior. Success with money is only 20% of head knowledge. A person's actions have to change in order to win. A person's actions must change in order to change their financial situation. A person's actions must change in order to change the habits and patterns that continue the generational curses and the generational cycles of poverty in your life. And most are not willing to sacrifice it. Oh no, I ain't giving that up. I'd rather be poor. No, you don't. No, you already poor. I would prefer. No, no, you're already poor. You don't even have a savings. Somebody asks you for $200, you just drop like so you got hit by lightning. Number 21, we're trying to have it all. People end up broke because they want too many things too soon. This is especially challenging for recent college grads who go from living on peanuts to having a livable paycheck, but still cannot realistically afford the new house, the new apartment, and the new car, and the nights out, and the holidays and vacations. You were living on peanuts. All of a sudden, you see you're making money. You think you're LeBron. You're not LeBron. Your name is still Jennifer, Jamila, Joe, James, Kardish, Podisha. This gets particularly dangerous when you start using credit to fund all those purchases, which can cripple your future financially. You're killing your credit score, killing your ability to win in the marketplace, killing your ability to be wealthy. Instead of trying to have it all, you may think about picking one big want to budget for and leave the rest for the future when you've had a chance to build up some savings and earn a pay raise. Living one more year like a student while you're saving your first paycheck can help tremendously. No, but as soon as, you got a job, you haven't even signed the contract yet. You give up your 1-bedroom apartment and now you got a 3 and 3. Number 22, you're paying too much for your cell phone. One of the main reasons people end up broke is that they buy cell phones and send cell phone plans they cannot afford. Ask yourself, can I really afford? And most people spend about almost $200. You ask them, what's your cell phone bill? And they tell you it's 89. They're lying. I ain't stupid. You got charges. You got state charges. You got a watch. You got an iPad. $200 over $200. Buy a cell phone and a cell phone plan that they can't afford, and then they tell you, oh, if you just get another cell phone, you might need it for business. What you can do, you can save money. Can you save money by spending money? They tell you you're saving money because it's less than the first one. You still got to pay for it. Instead of opting for a top of the line smartphone and unlimited data, think about sticking with the cheaper phone carriers that have affordable rate plans, no contracts, and lower cost phones that you are not pressured to upgrade every year or two. Do you know you can get cell phone plans that cost only $10 a month plus taxes? For a simple, unlimited talk and text plan, if you look in the right places. That definitely beats the $100 per month plus expensive upgrade fees to get the latest iPhone. No, you don't need your iPhone to fly. No, you don't need to drive your iPhone. Sorry, your cell phone. And the last one, and we're just closing up. You spend more money than you make. One of the root causes of being broke is nearly always the same. People spend more than they make. As far as I know, that can only cause bankruptcy. The good news is you can tackle this from both sides of the equation. Spend less to live within your means and work to earn more so you can have more financial breathing room. That ends the session on 23 reasons why people stay poor. Hopefully, on our next, and if you have questions, ask them quickly because we're about to close up the show. But I think the next session, which is the 25th, we hope to have a guest here talking about her journey. And she's been through some rough times, but I've seen all the changes, and I respect her. Her name is Tracy Hughes, and I hope she's coming on next week. She's talking about her journey to good health. Then after that, we'll have my friend and brother from Jacksonville. His name is Bushman, and he'll be talking about the generational cycles that cause health problems and how we can fix them. And so if you have any questions, please ask. If not, you have been on Reality in the Raw, uncut, unfiltered, and unhinged. I've given you the truth. You may not like me, but the information that I give you is correct. You don't see me, but you can use the information and become financially stable, because too many of us, 73% of people, have less than $1,000 in their account, don't have an emergency account, and struggling from paycheck to paycheck, and it's just a shame. You, again, we end our program tonight. Reality on the Raw, in the Raw, uncut, unfiltered, unhinged. And like my son said, and I'm your host, Ed Lloyd Sr. See you again on the 18th. We look forward to you being here. Bring your questions, bring some comments, engage. If you really want to learn, ask me some tough questions and we'll get some answers. Till I see you again, I love you, and I'm coming with the plain truth. Plain reality. It's raw, but it'll help you. Till we see you again, we love and appreciate you.